everybody, and thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Beau, and I'm here to bring you a quick recap of the Longboard SUP Revolution event in Bali. In this video, we're going to be learning a bit more about the event. We're going to be watching the finals day action, hearing from the winners as well, along with watching some pretty cool SUP longboarding action. The event was titled the Bali Cosmic Experience Longboard SUP Competition and was held over the Easter weekend of April the 7th to the 10th in Sanur, Bali, Indonesia. For those of you that don't know about the Longboard SUP Revolution, or LSR, this is a movement that has started in Australia, and their goal is to promote and really encourage a 10-foot SUP longboard division at all contests throughout Australia. And they've really done that, which is amazing. They've got 10-foot divisions at club level, right up to national level for both men and women, and different age categories as well. Their Facebook group is over 6,000 members strong from all over the world, so it's a really big push for SUP longboarding. This event in Bali, it was initially a 10-foot board minimum division. However, with airline travel getting harder and harder with longer boards, the directors had changed the board length to 9 feet and over, but it still has to be that longboard shape with that rounded nose. The event consisted of 4 different divisions, which included the Weekend Warrior and Elite categories for both men and women, with some big international names coming to compete. It attracted over 50 competitors from around the world and was meant to start in 2020. However, COVID set it back a few years, and it would have been the first standalone SUP longboard event in the world. The organisers of the event were Michael Jenkins, who is the brainchild behind the LSR movement, Scott McKercher from SMIC SUP, and also Johnny Deaker from the Rip Curl School of Surf in Bali, who organised all the logistics around the event. A big shout out also goes to Michael Williams, the photographer, who spent hours in the water capturing all of the event photos and videos too. So big thanks to Michael for that. So let's chat a little bit about the event, and what made it so memorable and really special for me was that it wasn't all about the competition, and that's very different to a lot of events I've been to in the past. Maybe I was in a different headspace. I'm used to going to events to really focus on the competition. This one was definitely, the competition was just the reason to get everyone together, and everyone was super stoked on SUP longboarding. So to share that and to be in that community was really, really amazing. The majority of people in the contest had come from Australia. We also had people from New Zealand. We had people coming from across the globe, from France, from Spain. We had entrants from the UK, from Germany, Canada, Philippines, Thailand, and even Korea as well. There's probably a few countries I'm forgetting, but it was amazing to see everyone coming together from across the world. There were group dinners with over 70 people in attendance, groups of people heading out for surfs on the boats, people hanging out at bars, restaurants, and cafes together. Everyone was included in the event, and it felt like you were part of something bigger. We all had to get boats out to the surf breaks, although some people did paddle the 2.5 kilometers over to the surf. There was a pontoon boat which carried all of the judges, the media, and commentators to the break, and it anchored inside the reef to offer the best viewing for the competition. The Rip Curl School of Surf provided jukung boats, which are Balinese outrigger canoes for all of the surfers to get across to the break for their heats. Now, looking at the surf forecast before the event, it was turning out to be pretty lackluster. There was a swell before and after the event window, but nothing much in between. The best thing about being at this event is that we're on SUP longboards. So even if it was small, we're on the perfect craft for the conditions. So although there were some small waves at the start of the event, we saw a gradual rise into the finals day and some very contestable conditions at the break of Serangan on the east coast of Bali. Now, some of the big names to enter the event were the current APP World Tour champion Benoit Carpentier from France. We had the former APP World Tour champion Abaya Moreno from the Canary Islands, ISA World Champion Zane Schweitzer, who came from Hawaii. We also had the Australian Rippers Steve Morley, Skylar Rayner, Dylan Henry, and Dimity Faulkner. It was a real pleasure just to watch everyone surfing, and Benoit scored the only perfect 10 of the event in his semi-final with a combination of big turns and critical nose rides, putting on a masterclass for everybody watching. So let's now take a look at the finals day of competition, going through the finals of each division, starting off with the Weekend Warrior women. We had Madeline, Kylie, Dimity, and Bonnie in the final for this division. These four ladies surfed 3 rounds together, and the winner was decided based on their placings for each heat. Now, Bonnie won the first 2 heats and was looking to be the favourite for this final. Madeline had some great waves in this final and was leading the heat for quite some time. However, Dimity managed to catch some of the set waves and worked her magic to take the lead. Now, Bonnie, who is very stylish and walks the board with grace, just couldn't find the right waves in this heat, which made the final rankings very close. Kylie, who runs Drift Hideaway Resort on Lombok with Wayne Dean, caught some great rides as well in all of her heats. After the final had finished, the ladies weren't so sure who had taken first place, as it was between Bonnie and Dimity. It went to a tally of their heat scores, and Dimity was right behind Bonnie after the first couple, but Dimity really got some high scores in that last final, which means that Dimity won the Weekend Warrior Women's. And we caught up with Dimity after the presentation.
Ready start. It was fantastic. Everyone, you got to come here next year. It was just amazing. And the people, the contestants, and the husbands and wives, you've got to come, guys. It's awesome.
Next up, it was the Weekend Warrior Men's Division in the water. This category had the most entrants at nearly 30 people entering, so it was a long road to the final for these competitors. We had Trafford, Wayne, Ollie, and Trevor battling it out for the win. Trafford, he's from South Australia and was swapping boards throughout the event. In the final, he ended up on a smick, which he was riding really nicely. Trafford had some great turns and linked together moves really well. Wayne Dean put on a show too. Along with Kylie, they both raffled off a 4-night stay at Drift Hideaway Resort on the island of Lombok, with all of that raffle money going back into the pocket of the Longboard SUP Revolution so that they can really get next year's event off the ground, and fingers crossed we're hoping for a 2024 edition of this event. Our attention then turned to the Starboard team. Ollie O'Reilly, who is the product manager at Starboard and the lead designer for the composite range. He'd been ripping all event and was very deserving to be in the final, but unfortunately he couldn't find the waves in this heat to secure the scores that he wanted. Trevor Tunnington, who has been crowned the fastest male paddler on earth and longtime Starboard team rider, took real control of this final. He connected through sections and turned the longboard like it was a shortboard. Trevor eventually won the final with Trafford in second, Wayne in third, and Ollie in fourth. And we caught up with Trevor after the presentation.
Good, I've been working in the office a couple of years now, so it's nice to get back out in the water and catch a few waves and compete again. I mean, it's been a long time, so good to come out today with a win and a cool trophy.
Now, you saw a competitor standing next to Trev in that interview, and that was Richard Wayne from Western Australia. Now, he took home the trophy for the highest placed over 60s SUP surfer at the event. We had people entering that were 23 years of age right up to 79 years of age. So it's a really great thing that Longboard SUP can encompass all of these ages. We're going to hear from Richard as well.
It just makes up for not making the final with the Weekend Warriors. This is just a total surprise, and I'm so stoked.
Yeah, nice.
And it's the best event ever. And if you're coming next year, get your bookings in now.
In the water next was the Elite Women's Division, which was run similar to the Weekend Warrior Women's because they had only 4 surfers, so they ran 3 different rounds, tallying up their placings to get that final overall result. We had Skylar, Abaya, Bria, and Lorraine in this final. Lorraine, originally from the Philippines, now residing in Bali, has such a nice longboard style and surfs the SUP really well. She borrowed a board for this final and surfed it really nicely. Bria Wright, the youngest competitor in the event, took charge of some really great looking waves throughout the final. Her smooth and classy style wowed the judges and spectators alike. Skylar and Abaya took the more aggressive approach to turns and laid some serious rail carves throughout their heats. Skylar would nudge some of the highest scores of the heat to try and beat Abaya, but it was Abaya Moreno who took the win in the women's elite, adding another victory to her already stellar resume. We caught up with Abaya in the water after one of her heats.
It's a good thing it's a longboard contest. How was it?
Fun.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, Jackie, can you put your hand?
Good for longboard? Yeah.
There's Jackie in the water.
Yeah.
Jackie,
Yeah, of course. But you got some good waves. Yeah, yeah. Very nice turns. Yeah, right. No, well done. Did a good job.
The men's elite was the last final in the water, and there were some really high scores being thrown at this division all week. High scores in the 8s, high 9s, even that 10 for Benoit. I was knocked out in the semi-finals, unfortunately, trying to wait for a wave that just never came, but hey, that's competition for you. We had Wes, Benoit, Zane, and Kai Bates in the final. Benoit was really the man to beat. He is the epitome of longboard SUP surfing. The smooth style, critical nose rides, and committed turns are so nice to watch, but it just wasn't his day in this final. He had some ways where he tried to make it happen, but came unstuck on a few turns. Wes was going completely vertical on turns all throughout the contest and in free surfs, and the final was no different. His power and radical surfing was rewarded highly. Kai Bates went to turns as well and went nuts on his 9.0 smick. Super critical surfing from Kai put him in the lead for the majority of this final, and even with 5 minutes remaining. But it was Zane Schweitzer who outsurfed everyone to take home the win in the last minutes. Critical nose rides, powerful turns won Zane this event, and you can just see from the photos and videos that Zane was ripping. Let's hear from Zane now.
So stoked to get a win for the year, 2023. Longboard SUP Revolution. Last time we were here, the world shut down with COVID. And it feels like yesterday that we were here. And such an amazing group of athletes, amazing organization from the judges, the staff, Johnny. I mean, definitely look forward to coming back to this one next year. Oh yeah.
Another award that was handed out at the presentations was the Board Brand Award. Now, we had brands such as Starboard, Smick, Kalama, and Deep were some of the big names of boards at the competition. The points were tallied up for the placings of each brand from the riders in every division. Smick took the win, and Starboard was in second place. Smick, a big supporter of the Cosmic Experience Longboard SUP Revolution event in Bali, so big thanks to Scott McKercher for all of his input. Massive congrats to all of our finalists, but also everyone who entered the event. It's you guys that really made it happen. It was fantastic to meet all of you. Personally, I just want to thank everyone that I had a beer with and went out for a surf with, had meals together with, sat down next to, maybe shared some coaching tips with you. It was an absolute pleasure, and really hope to do it again next year, and hopefully see you all very soon somewhere in the world. Thank you very much for tuning into this recap of the Longboard SUP Revolution Cosmic Experience in Bali. Keep an eye out for more recaps as I head to events and participate in future events. It's really fun being a part of the SUP community and seeing what everyone is up to, and also bringing you these recaps. Remember, if you're looking for a SUP holiday, book with us at Travel with a Paddle. You can head to our website and see the trips that we are currently offering. Thanks again. We'll see you very soon on another video.